everyone, this is Amanda at Amanda's Booktopia. If you're new here, welcome, and if not, welcome back. And today is a special secret vlog that I arranged with my bestie Clint. We are both hosts together for the Fiction Falls Readathon for the month of August, and we each set up host favorites for the both of us. So we had a great idea to do a vlog reading each other's host favorites. So we picked like a select few from each other that we're going to read. I already know one of them only because I sent him the paperback for his birthday. And he also knows one of mine only because he sent me that one for my birthday. So that's the only book that we each know we're going to read. However, whichever other ones that we've picked are a complete surprise, and we don't know. I don't know what he's reading of mine, and he has no clue what I'm gonna be reading of his. So this is gonna be fun. I literally had to go into another book on my Kindle just to turn off my currently reading. So if I go into the book and keep it as currently reading, it will show up on my GoodReads, and I can't have that right now. So I literally had to go into some random book just to make sure it's got turned off so he doesn't see that I'm reading it. So now that I've done that, I can actually start one of the books. So I bought 2 as ebooks, and then I'll read my physical one. I think I'm going to save that one for last and do the ebooks first, because I tend to read ebooks faster than I do physically. I do read physical books fast, but ebooks are even faster just because I don't have to like keep turning pages. I just click on the screen and it turns for me, which makes it so much easier. But I am excited to get started, and we're going to see how this goes. So one of his host favorites that I got as an ebook is The Misfit Mage and His Dashing Devil. That's the cover. It's a male-male fantasy romance, and it's the first of a series. And really, that's all I know. I don't know anything else about this book. So I'm going into it mostly blind. So fantasy romance is my favorite genre, so I am really hoping this is going to go well. And I'm kind of excited that I found out it's not a very long book. There's only like 336 pages or something like that. So I feel like I'm going to get this done like super quick. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'll give you guys an update either when I take a break, or if I finish it before I take a break, then I'll tell you guys all about it after. So I will see everybody then. It is now Sunday at almost 10 after 3 in the afternoon. And I want to give you guys an update on how my reading is going. It took a couple of days for me to, even though it was a short read, it still took me longer than I thought to get through, what was it called? The Misfit Mage and the Dashing Devil. That's what it's called. And I unexpectedly liked it more than I thought I would. It's not a 5-star, but it was a very interesting take on a male-male fantasy romance. We are following Walter as he accidentally gets himself bonded to this devil, and something happens, and now he's got to try and clear his name because he was framed, and now like everyone thinks that he's the guy who did all this bad stuff, and he and the devil that he's bonded to are trying to figure out what really happened. And it was a really fun, fast paced. So much was going on. I love the banter between the two characters. It was really funny, some of the stuff that they were saying back and forth. The romance was also fun. I didn't feel like the chemistry was completely there. I didn't quite believe it. For me, it felt more like a best friend than really a lover, but I still had a fun time with it, and it was very fast-paced. It If I hadn't spent so much time on Happy Color, I would have had it done a lot sooner. But it was fun, and I would definitely continue the series at some point. So maybe down the line, maybe I'll try the next one. So I'm gonna give this one a 4-star. It was fun, and I really enjoyed my time with it. And I already started my second one. So the second book that I picked up for the Clint's host favorites is Step in the Zone by Blaine Bellamy. And I know Clint also had an interview with the author on his channel. So I'm like, I'll give this one a shot, you know? It sounded interesting. It's a dark male romance between stepbrothers. Then I'm like, okay, I'll try it. And already so much emotion is already in this book. I'm only at like 14%. And already I really feel for Raphael. He's going through so much and he's masking it with alcohol. I mean, he's 18 years old and what happened in his family is devastating. And yes, I know Cody's been through stuff too already in the first 14%. We already know it, like some of the backstory for him as well. And I feel for the both of them, but at the same time, I'm not 1,000% in love with the characters. I understand why they treat each other the way they do because of what happened to their families and why they're in this position. I just don't love their motivations and why they're saying and doing what they do. But it's fairly early on. I'm only 14% in. I still got so much more to go, so things could still change. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with that and see how things develop. Because I love a good dark romance. As long as it's not focused on just the spicy scenes and there's like an actual plot behind it, I am so for it. So I want to continue and see what happens, and hopefully I'll have an update for you guys later once I have some more reading in, unless I finish it. So I will see you guys once I have some more thoughts for you later on. It is now Thursday and a little bit after 8 in the morning, and I know it took me a while to do another update. I've been in quite the reading slump lately. But I finally finished Step in the Zone by Blaine Bellamy last night. And I had a bit of a hard time with most of the book. I really did not like Cody or Raphael. I didn't like how they treated each other. But once I got to the 50% mark, I think things started to like develop a little bit better. And they finally like understood each other to the point where like things started to gel a little bit more. So I liked how everything ended up in the end. It ended up working out okay. I didn't hate it, but I also didn't love it. I was just very iffy about these characters and the way they treated each other. And I did not understand the whole thing with Raphael's dad. I didn't feel like he served a purpose, really. I was hoping he'd be more of a hands-on character. I just didn't feel that with him. So overall, I think I'm going to give this one a 3-star. Just, it's not something I normally gravitate towards. And there's also a lot of spicy scenes. Way more than needed, I felt. I think we need a little bit more plot, a little bit more development with the characters a little bit sooner. But it was an okay book, so I'm going to go with 3 stars on that one. And for the last book of this vlog, I'm going to go with A Fairy of Bones and Gold by Haley Turner. Clint told me this is kind of a little bit like Shadowhunters world. So I'm excited because I love the Shadowhunters. I think that's a great series. The Infernal Devices is my favorite in that world. So I'm hoping this will give me similar vibes. And I don't know much except there's this like supernatural operations agency. And it's male, so apparently all debts must be paid, and Patrick can only do what he does best, cheat death. So I'm interested. And it's supposed to be a fantasy romance, which is even better because that's my favorite genre. So I'm looking forward to starting this. I probably will very shortly. And hopefully I'll have some thoughts for you guys a little bit later. I'm going to go ahead and start reading, so I will see everybody later. It is now Thursday on the 28th of August. And yes, it's taken me quite a while to get to the end of this vlog. I have been in such a slump that it's not even funny. I read a 5-star like earlier this month, and it was so good that everything after that just did not measure up, and it's been disappointing to say the least. So yeah, it's been rough going, but I've still been working on this vlog slowly but steadily. And I just finished last night A Fairy of Bones and Gold by Haley Turner. And this really did sound a lot like what Clint said, very much like the Shadowhunters world, with a little bit of maybe Criminal Minds thrown in there because of the agency that's being used in here. Reminded me a little bit of the BAU. But it was a heck of a ride. I really enjoyed the main plot and trying to figure out what is actually going on. And I'm trying to find out what is causing all these murders that are happening in this world, which is why it reminded me of Criminal Minds, because the agency was coming in to solve these brutal murders that were happening that was being caused by magic, like horrible magic. And we're trying to figure out why and how and who and all that stuff. And that part of the book fascinated me. The romance, I did not really feel the chemistry nearly as much as I should. Like we're seeing Jono like trying to protect Patrick a lot of the time, but we don't really I don't really understand why, because they don't really know much about each other in this first book. And just because they're together all the time does not a chemistry make. I just didn't quite feel the relationship. I didn't feel the chemistry as much. But the other part of it, like with the mystery itself, was fascinating, even though I didn't quite feel the romance. Maybe the romance will develop as the series goes. I just didn't quite feel it right off the bat. I feel like we're supposed to be like... I feel like the author's trying to tell us that this is like an insta-lust. Maybe. So maybe the chemistry will develop as we go. I just didn't quite feel it in this one. But overall, it was such a fun time. So I want to go with a 4-star on this. And I would like to continue the series at some point because the plot was interesting. So at some point, I will try and continue the series. Not a priority right now, but I did see this series is on KU. And I recently got KU for 2 months for 99 cents. And so maybe at some point I will continue the series on there. So I would like to know what else is going to happen in this world. And maybe the relationship gets better as it goes. I just didn't quite feel a relationship in this one in particular. But that is all for this Host Favorites vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it. even though it was few and far between. And thank you for watching. If you made it this far into the video and you don't feel like being chatty, why don't you leave me a
badger.
A badger? Why a badger?
Why not?
I don't even know if there is a badger emoji.
I don't know either.
Well, if there is a badger emoji, why don't you throw one in? And maybe a hockey stick, because Step in the Zone was a hockey romance. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a huge thumbs up. If you want to see more bookish content from me, make sure you smash the subscribe button down below. And I'll see you all in the next one.